Welcome everybody. We're making this video for the Planning to Win attendees, and it'll be an opportunity to have a little bit of a refresher, and as with any of it, we might give you a mildly different perspective on some of this. And at the end, I want you to know a little bit about what Delta is all about and some offering that we have that may be a real asset and help you in your marketing processes. So to get it started, you can see from the picture there, we've got a great little graphic there that kind of represents the target marketing that everybody's been taught and dealing with. And I think what we put as the title here is the core essence of where everybody wants. We really want to build a lot of long-term referring relationships that'll refer us for years and years. You know, I've got my biggest client I've had a relationship with for over 20 years. And they keep on referring us and we keep on dealing with them and taking care of their customers, and it's a great relationship. And that's the type of relationships we want to talk about and build and give you some thoughts about here. If you recall in Planning to Win, one of the things we did to start things off is to define the term market, what a market is. And when we got it down to the core essence and really looked at that, the importance was that when you understand what a market is, it kind of changes your paradigm on marketing. And that is that a market is a group of people or companies that have a similar buying, or in our case, and what we're talking about here, referring motive, a group of people or companies that have similar referring motives. And when we look at that and we deal with this group of people that have a similar set of buying or referring motives, it's a lot easier to go out and deal with a group of people who all are motivated to refer for the same type of reason and to manage and build a relationship with them than it is to deal with every random person in the marketplace and just have a bunch of random marketing things. We can then organize and think and deal with things that way. And a great deal of what we're going to share with you today comes down to that we can go pick off some of the greatest part of the market because the best part of the market has a very similar buying or referring motive. Second point that we made is that all marketing tactics are simply an excuse to talk to the market. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. But if we look at this, and this graphic kind of shows us that they congregate. We have certain types of people that behave certain ways, and others that behave or think in other ways. One of my favorite classes in college were economic classes, and economics reduces every transaction down to its economic benefit. But marketing has to take another look at that because all transactions don't actually happen on their economic benefit. If I have 2 bars of soap that are essentially the exact same thing and essentially do the exact same thing, but one is no name brand and the other is Dove or Irish Spring or something else, people may pay and do pay substantially different prices and rates for those 2 bars of soap that on an economic basis do the same thing. And the reason that they pay that is what those things do for us emotionally, how they make us feel, and just how that brand is connected to us. And so we really want to talk about that today. We want to talk about how we connect ourselves in very powerful ways emotionally with our clients. And one of the most important reasons that you do that is that we have all developed these abilities to put up barriers. We really protect ourselves with these barriers. So the highway there representing, we're running down the highway of marketing, and it's really representing the logical reason to deal with us in business. There's always, and part of our job in marketing is to make a logical reason, and especially with a lot of men that we deal with in this industry, we're really good at making it make sense to deal with us in business, but we never, we have this really neat thing, and we never connect with people, and we can't make it through that barrier. And the way that we hear about barriers are things like, you know, I already have somebody I use. I had a bad experience when I referred somebody 10 years ago, or we don't refer, or I really don't have time right now. Time is a huge one, that I'm just too busy to talk to you right now. Or, you know, there's the old standby of I'm just not interested. And those barriers come up, and they're emotional barriers that we all have, really to protect the core essence that we have. Any business to business relationship is built on and based on the driver in business to business, and that is time and money. Those are the two resources that they have. I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I can't deal with that. That barrier comes up. So one of our central things that we're trying to break down are those barriers, so that people will talk to us, and when they do talk to us, we then want to break down the barriers that they put up, so that we can engage and make it not just logically make sense, but we want to get through that emotion so that they want to deal with this in business. So at Planning to Win, we taught you some really strong ways and some differences to look at the common things, everything from the donut drop to lunch meeting to CE classes to the golf course, or you know, whether it be brochures or other print type of media. We've gone through and we've taught you in a huge way how to make an emotional commitment, which really comes down to being able to engage with them and understand their problems and issues, but be what in some writers have called customer centric, be understanding and centered on the customer and what their issues and problems are. And that is the first big jump to make emotionally, and you've learned many examples how to do those same common things that you've done before, but make them much more powerful in what you're doing. The question is, can we take that a step further? Can we really dig down and get and connect with them from those engagements, and as we build this and figure out who we want to work with, build that to a real deep relationship. And you know, that's where the opportunity that we're going to share with you today is to build some synergies. If we can find a central method that we engage with people, and it not only engages and creates this opportunity for us to talk with people, but it also is something hugely in their favor, and frankly strokes their ego in a number of ways, and breaks through those factors. They get so interested in what that could be and how we could deal with that we break through what I shared with you in Planning to Win. I call the critical factor. It's that same barrier that we have. That's what hypnotists call that. It's the same barrier that we throw up to say that we will or won't do anything. And if we can make this all work together, and I think the easiest way for me to share that with you and show that to you is to actually just trudge on here and show you what we're talking about. So I told you that we'd bring you back to this concept of your excuse to talk to a market, and we've really driven that home, and I'm hoping maybe this even helps it a little bit more. But as we look at any marketing method that exists, what people are masterful at is coming up with excuses to talk to people with similar buying motives, to talk to a market. And so, you know, if we look at Boys Life magazine is going to approach a whole bunch of young teenage boys and people with a similar interest, versus Martha Stewart Living is going to have people that are interested in homemaking skills and decorating skills and cooking skills and things, versus Sports Illustrated that's going to bring it group of people that are interested in sports and the whole sports world and the types of clients, and we can drive off of those things into our market. And those are all just excuses. Talk to a market, because if the advertisers didn't exist that wanted to talk to those markets, the mediums wouldn't exist. And that's what the actual driver of those things are. The opportunity for us is to get very clear about who that market and what that market is. We find, I'm going to digress just very quickly here, but we find I often have people that go about the whole marketing thing backwards, and they pick a medium and then try to find some way to drive an advertisement for it. And what we really want to talk about is how do we stick to the core of what we are and who we are, and define that target market that we've defined, and create an excuse to talk to that market very specifically. And in the case that we're going to give you, no more than that market. We're just going to go talk to those people we want to in a very powerful way.
So Brent, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
So are you saying that the things that we traditionally do, even like going to lunch or going golfing, are ineffective? Can that not work in some way to accomplish this?
They can work very effectively. And I think one of the things that I want to drive on this is that those suit different purposes that in the marketing funnel we've taught, and we've taught it as the 6-step process, that those things are very effective at the top part of the funnel, of building a relationship, getting to know somebody, really helping us form an understanding of who they are and if they fit. But they are not very effective at what's on this slide, at consistently talking to them, because we can only go to lunch so many times, or we can only play so many golf games with one given person. They're not effective methods at being consistent and constant with our people. And so what we've found is that down the funnel, as we work down and start to figure out these people we work with, that lunch that was so effective in the beginning, or CE class that was a great way to meet people and get to know them, is not a great way to keep the connection every single month. I'm not going to run a CE class every single month. I can't go to lunch with the same people every single month, and I've already made that point. And the opportunity is to have this be able to be synergistic, as pointed out before. And what I mean by that is that not only are we constant, but what we do with them on a monthly basis also builds value. So that's where dropping donuts is great, but dropping donuts doesn't necessarily build value for us. That's something we could maybe do every month, but it doesn't really build value for us. And so the opportunity is to be consistent and build that value. And what we're really suggesting is that you can build a partnership, and that partnerships are the key, and we have to have something to partner around, but they're the key to being able to help them grow their business, us grow our business. And virtually I'd say 100%, but the vast majority of methods that we've found to build referrals and relationships with people long term in this industry have rested around this concept of being able to build a partnership. One of the things that I think you really came up with, Spence, several years ago, was when you understand this concept. I think the words you put in that too is essentially that if their business suffers because you were gone, if you went out of business tomorrow and their business would suffer because you were gone, they have pretty substantial stock or value in that relationship. But if you disappeared tomorrow and, well, they just call the next guy on the list, they just call one of these other guys that's stopping in, that isn't a very strong partnership. And so we want to be able to build a partnership that's based on being able to create some real value in their business. So what we want to do is take this whole thing at both levels, both in terms of how you interact with them and in terms of how they deal with the marketplace out in the market, from the old world to the new world. In the old world, we've got all the things, all the old stuff, billboards and newspapers and magazine ads and TV ads and all of those things. And really virtually everything in the new world is centered around the internet. And when you look at the internet and try to study it, you will find there is one central driving force on the internet. And Spence, you want to share with them a little bit. We constantly, I'll bet you weekly, get research studies and updates and marketing information about what this is, but share with them a little bit about what that central thing on the internet is and what we found with that.
Absolutely. Brent and I are actually looking for this kind of information regularly, but the reality is it just shows up in our inbox. We get different marketing newsletters and things like that, and we're constantly getting new research that reinforces that video and different uses of video on the internet are the number one way that people engage. We've found that the demand for video online and elsewhere is skyrocketing. In fact, probably the most recent statistic that I have that's incredibly powerful is from Cisco, where they did a study and indicating that by the year 2018, video traffic will account for 79% of all consumer internet traffic. In other words, 80% of the people on the internet will be watching video. Think about that for a minute. And they've also indicated that video on demand traffic will double, which could also be another huge inroad. But the point here is that the demand for video is skyrocketing. We've proven, statistics show that people want to get their messages by video more than any other way. And we've known that to be true for the last 5 or 10 years, but the statistics are bearing it out now.
We started down this path, I think, almost 5 years ago. I've kind of watched what was happening. We pretty much predicted and understood from the reading and research we'd done that video did and would rule the world. But one of the problems with video is that everybody understands they can put video on their landing pages or web pages. And they understand that they can go post a video to YouTube or do things like that. And so if somebody wants to search for it, they can find it, or they go to their web page, they can get the video, but they don't have a method of doing what this slide points out is sociable video. They don't have a way of socializing with video and using and just interacting with people. And so what we've really done is created a method that they can do what we call a video postcard, and they can be able to share with their clients and friends and anybody they want, and you can too, a video postcard, just a simple little way to take video. And the neat thing and the unique thing about it is it allows them to take just typical videos. One of the really interesting thing is that most major carriers have video content for insurance agents, but even many other companies have video content that they can already use, but they have no idea how to use that video. And so we've used this with plumbers, with property managers, with insurance agents, obviously, even with insurance adjusters at times. God, we have clients using it with carpet cleaners that they market to. I'd have to think here. We've done some things with home inspectors, with just about any kind of market out there. You can do that and help them create these video postcards. Do you want to tell them just a little bit about my video toolbox really quick, Spence, and then I'll tie this back together?
You bet. My video toolbox is simply an online application, kind of like what's called a cloud application. It's online, and it allows you to go in about 5 to 15 minutes, create a little video postcard like you see on the screen right now, with somebody's photo, the contact information, and then a video, or possibly even a playlist of videos. They can put multiple videos that relate to each other. They can put an introduction and a tag at the end. It allows their viewer to watch that video quickly, and then if they want to share it with others, they have single click little buttons that will allow them to share the video on LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, or by email. You can put attachments on it, and it just becomes an extremely valuable tool. We'll talk about a little bit more about great ways that you can use this to bring value to your client, and for your client to enhance his business by providing videos to their clients that have valuable information.
So I didn't even, it's kind of funny because Spence and I set this slideshow up and I didn't even pay attention. Lynette's a great client of ours, and somebody that we deal with. So I didn't look at what this was, but this is a great example of being able to take, in this case, American Families videos. So that video you see queued up is one of American Families videos on that whole thing. And take and put this, when Spence said 5 to 15 minutes, I'm betting the first time you set this up for her, it took you 15 minutes to get her picture and American Family logo and a few things like that done. But once that's set up, it couldn't take you more than 5 minutes to drop a couple videos in there, could it? So, once you set this up, it's lickety split. You can make these little video pages. You can have a series of videos, and more than we want to take time here to try to explain. So here's some interesting statistics on some of the value. I want to set this up a little different. We had a client that one example of this is in the I don't know, it was in the middle of the United States. One of the districts for Farmers Insurance came to their agents and said, we require you, do you remember what this was, Spence? Require you to have something like 10 contacts a year with your clients. Do you remember what the actual number was?
I don't, but yeah, it was about that.
It was 8 or 10 contacts a year. And one of our clients went into these guys and they said, we have no idea what to do with these, how we make all these contacts with our clients. Now, what farmers recognized was what we've shared with you here, is that if they're going to keep their clients and keep them from going and just buying it online, they needed to have some consistent and constant contact with their clients, just like we want to have consistent and constant contact with our clients. And so we simply showed them that, gosh, you can take training videos. What we do is focus a message around prevention, or if, there's really more than one way to look at this. If it was a big client, we'd call it risk management, and you'll see that in a second. But tell them a little bit about this slide. You pulled these numbers.
Yeah, this is just another research study that I found online that did a study of what types of video emails are topically the best topics, the things that people are most interested in. And you can see by the results that training courses, which I'm going to extend to mean any kind of teaching, training to individuals, are the most valuable things they would look for online. And so as we sat and tried to think of what type of video would a plumber, would an insurance agent, would a property manager, would a realtor want to send out to their people, it would be something to help make it easy for them to solve a problem at home. So the ones that we've used the most, and you guys have a lot of creativity on this too, is the idea of creating prevention video tips that allow a homeowner to do some little work themselves to prevent some of the most common causes of flooding, fire, mold, and even household hazards in their home. It's a benefit to them. It's a great tip to come from their insurance agent or plumber or property manager. And you'll notice that going down this graph here, you can see that there's also product demonstrations, promotions, customer testimonials, and other kinds of things that can also be very valuable. And there's a way to spin those so that they're not necessarily promoting or trying to sell, for example, new policies or sell a plumbing service call or anything like that. It's just demonstrating to people that there's things out there they want to keep their eyes on. And ultimately what we want to do here is bring value to that homeowner, that ultimate customer, but in the process, make our client, our referrer, look good in the process and become even more valuable to their customer base.
Well, the wild thing about this is that what this tool has created is, for the most part, we have produced some videos. We've produced some videos on things like water heaters and washing machine hoses and carbon monoxide alarms and barbecues, and but so we produce some, and we've got some other industry ones that we've negotiated the use of for our My Video Toolbox clients. But most of our clients, many of our clients, are just taking either these ones that have already been made by their companies in the case of insurance agents, or other funny or interesting videos. So we've taken some really funny videos and been able to send a message and even train or teach a point from that video, from something that's just this funny little video that they throw out, and can be able to take and deal with people. And what the bottom line is that it's the number one way to engage with clients and to be able to deal with people. And that's what we really want to do in the end, is be able to have this engagement for them. And so again, I'm going to take this, that what we want is engagement with them. And we've found that it doesn't even matter if they send these videos out, that we get the value. And there's a whole, Spence and I just discussed it. We kind of wanted to break off here and teach you a whole bunch about how and where value is created. And it's really more appropriate for another discussion. But just let it rest here that just the nature of doing this, regardless of how they even use it, will create incredible value in their mind and take it way beyond that economic value, what we talked before about the soap. This is an example of something that we go through with this. And one of the concepts that we help people understand is that for risk management, insurance is only a piece of the pie, that 75% of the risks aren't insured. And this has a whole training in and of itself, again, to be able to deal with there. But it's what creates a value, is that we can help people control and reduce risk in a myriad of ways beyond what they buy insurance for, and to even help their insurance work better. So an example of that would be with homeowners associations. There are many issues that aren't covered, but helping homeowners associations understand what things they're responsible for, and what things the homeowner association is responsible for, and what things the insurance company is responsible for, can create a lot of value. And that in and of itself right there is a great example of a great little video for a homeowners association. This takes us out of the realm of just trying to create this logic of dealing with this. The logic is that you do a better job than your customers, and that you'll take care of their customers and build a relationship with their customers and help protect their customers. And they want that logic. But as soon as we're doing things in their favor, as soon as we're doing things for them, we break that emotional barrier, and they're like, wow, I can't, you create and you do this. Like I say, this is even a stroke of their ego when Lynette sees her picture up in the corner of that thing, and their logo and this whole thing, and you've created that for them. It takes us into a realm that one of my favorite people, Robert Cialdini, who writes about influence factors and what helps people make decisions. We hit something called reciprocity, that they feel like they owe you something, that they want to do something in your favor. And it really takes us to this concept that you've been taught, that you're going to create your own little world there with this group of clients, and it is your responsibility to engage them, and engage them at a heavy level. The interesting thing, and one of the powerful things about My Video Toolbox, is that it does take some effort. It does take some work on your behalf to be able to deal with it. But it's actually a very efficient way to work with people, because much of this that somebody else would have to go out and visit these people one-on-one. I hope that you can see that much of this can be done on the telephone. You can talk on the telephone, send emails back and forth, have 2 or 3 or 4 contacts in a month. One sending an email with an update, or here's a video for you, a follow-up phone call to see what they got. We discuss it a little bit. Maybe we make a tweak. Maybe they want to add something to it. Maybe they want to swap it to a different one. But we've got this engaging conversation about things that we want to talk to them about, and we can weave into our conversations those things that we want to, and it becomes a way of fulfilling and dealing with that. There's a lot of things that you can do with this too. We don't have time to point out, but examples are down at the bottom. We can attach pictures or Word documents or PDF documents, so you can send a video and send these attachments that people can open with it. Somebody can send an attachment that they explain it in the video and what it is. Maybe it's their an agent wants to do updates to their policy, and they want to explain what some of these updates on a policy, and the copy of Word or a PDF copy of the policy is attached for the homeowner, and they can do all kinds of interesting things that you can take them down the path and be able to do that way. The bottom line is that we've found this to create the synergy that we talked about before. One thing that we do in their favor, it's one thing, it creates a consumable resource. One of the things we want is a magazine comes out every month because what happened last month got consumed. And so a consumable resource that we can do on a month by month basis, we can do it efficiently on the telephone and by email, and be able to see more people and talk with more people, but still engage with them in a very meaningful and deep way, and provide some value. So I want Spence to tell you just real briefly about Delta and who we are and what we have at Delta, and then I'm going to make an offer to you on my video toolbox.
Great. I will take just a couple of seconds. Brent, I know mentioned to you at Planning to Win, our company is called Delta Business Solutions. And our kind of byline is that we have tools for growing businesses. And that's what we want to be for you, is a provider of tools that will help you grow your business and prosper. I'll mention just a few that are on this slide. We have a series of terrific CE courses that are interesting and fun, and you can get adapted for your own local area. They're very affordable. So if you're interested in doing CE, contact me on that. We do different kinds of marketing plans for plumbers, agents, property managers, a lot of the different markets that we've talked about today. And if you want to pursue one of those markets, we should talk. We do some private consulting. We have different ways of managing that with different clients depending on what your needs are. The bottom line is we want to help you in these areas. We know that it requires some education and a little bit of nurturing along to be effective out there in the marketing world, and we're here to help and have a lot of programs to make that happen. So just give me a call and we'll get something worked out for you.
So probably our 2 biggest things that we deal in is this My Video Toolbox, which we really presented and shared with you here. And we have a lot of people that use the CE courses that we've set up, and they're really set up so that you can teach them. Many of them are about very common industry things, but we've taken and put a fun and interesting spin on them. And then we just creatively, the marketing plan we've set up at Planning to Win is so simple and so direct. Most people don't need help just coming up with the core essence of the marketing plan. What they need is the creativity to be able to nail a few of the issues within that plan, and that's what we oftentimes help people with. So here's the offer on My Video Toolbox. If you go online and just go to the My Video Toolbox website, which you can see right in front of you there, you will see that we offer a 30-day free trial. And right now is probably the biggest time of year, because the best thing you can do with My Video Toolbox is actually just use it and create postcards for your business and send out to people on your own. And so the holidays are just an unbelievable time of year to use that and become familiar and deal with it. I'm going to cut you a deal. This is a planning to win. This is literally true. This isn't one of these little marketing ploys. We've never done this before. I've never offered, but we will offer you a 60-day free trial. And so you need to go on, and it's a traditional thing that you're going to sign up and give it your credit card at the end. If you can cancel, and there's no charge, and you won't ever be charged. But at the end of the 60 days, if you like what it is and you're using it and you found the value in it, then it'll just initiate a subscription to it and deal with that. And that's how that's set up. Now, I'm ready to go one step beyond that. We're prepared, and there's a downloadable PDF that is in the email that will give you, if you sign up for the 60-day free trial, even if you cancel, if you sign up for that 60-day free trial, we will do a 1-hour review with you. We've done probably hundreds of these through the years, where you pick your target market, you work on it, and we will help you isolate and figure out how to nail that target. Many times the rest of the stuff falls together in that marketing plan, but getting very clear on that target market and getting very clear on the problems that you're going to solve, or problem that you're going to solve for that target market, is the key to making that happen. And I think you learned that in Planning to Win. And 9 times out of 10 in the hour, we can get through that and help you with that. So if you will go on and sign up, I really hope that everybody will go sign that up. We will. It usually takes us as much as 60 days to sit through these 1 hour, because meetings, I can't do all of them in a day. I can't do all of them in a week. And so it's on a first come, first served basis. We will take those and set up an appointment with you and spend an hour and just really hammer through and talk and give you some ideas and thoughts on that plan. That is not there to sell you anything. If it makes a ton of sense for you to deal with something like my video toolbox, we'll deal with that. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But our way of really screening your interest and sincerity in that is to put that through and sign up for that trial offer. Spence, do you have any other thoughts on that?
Brent, we might just want to indicate how long that offer is good.
Oh, yes. We're putting that offer out until the 15th of this month. So you really need, and I really suggest, especially with the first come, first serve on setting up the meetings, that you just jump on there today and set up that free trial. It's one of those things, I can't offer that forever, and I frankly don't want it to get clear down into the December holiday period. And so we want to be able to set this up and help you build that marketing. And the other reason to do it now and to get that done by the 15th is there's a huge opportunity to get your marketing plan set up for the beginning of the year, and you get a chance to really test market and start building in the market between now and the end of the year, so that at the beginning of the year you are just screaming and chasing down that path. Many markets, people are very busy during the winter time, and so that's not the time to be thinking through and trying to hammer that out. So I suggest that you get on there today and fill that out, and let's get that set up.
I think it sounds great. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Do give me a call once you get signed up so that I'll know, and we'll get your target market isolator meeting scheduled.
Okay. We will look forward to talking to anyone that wants to. You're certainly not limited to, we're happy to talk to you at any point. And our goal is to help you build an unbelievable long-term business that will bring you the kinds of work and the kinds of things that you want and need in your life. Thanks for watching this today, and we hope to talk to you in the future.
Thank you.